What the first letter of your name says about you, and why it's not a coincidence. Have you ever wondered why your name feels, right, almost like it was meant for you? What if I told you that the first letter of your name might reveal more than you think? Not just about your personality, but about your purpose, your emotional patterns, and even your hidden strengths. Modern psychology, ancient mysticism, and even Buddhist philosophy all point to something surprisingly powerful. Symbols carry energy, and letters, especially the first letter of your name, are among the most ancient symbols we still use every day. In today's video, we're diving deep into what the first letter of your name really means. And no, this isn't some surface-level personality quiz. We're going much deeper. You'll discover how each letter vibrates with a unique energy, why people with names starting with certain letters are drawn to specific behaviors, patterns, or paths in life, and most importantly, how you can use this insight to understand yourself better and make more aligned choices. If you've ever felt like your name holds a deeper truth, you're not wrong. Stick with me until the end, because by the time we're done, you won't just know more about your name. You'll know more about yourself. If that sounds interesting, don't forget to subscribe now, so you don't miss insights like these in future videos. Why the first letter matters more than you think. Names carry meaning, not just in their full form, but from the very first letter. According to both modern behavioral psychology and spiritual traditions like Buddhism and Kabbalah, the initial letter of a person's name often sets a tone for how they express themselves in the world. In Buddhist mindfulness, we learn that the beginning of something is sacred. It defines intention. In the same way, the first letter of your name carries an energetic fingerprint. It's the first thing people hear, the first symbol you write, and the first impression you make. That alone gives it extraordinary weight. Even in Western studies, psychologists suggest that people with names starting with A are more likely to excel academically due to early placement in alphabetical listings. But there's more. Each letter holds a vibration, and that vibration interacts with your personality, often subconsciously guiding your strengths, values, and even life direction. Let's explore what each letter really says about you, beginning with the most common initials. Letter A, the leader who starts fires. If your name begins with A, like Alice, Anthony, Amanda, or Andrew, you likely carry the vibration of initiation and leadership. A is the first letter of the alphabet, and it acts like it. People with this initial are often bold, assertive, and driven by a strong sense of independence. They don't wait for permission, they create opportunities. In Eastern spiritual terms, A is associated with the root chakra. It grounds you, but also fuels your ambition. You might notice people with A names often seek challenges and climb quickly in careers. But the shadow side, A's can be impatient, dominant, and sometimes too self-reliant. Their challenge is learning collaboration and vulnerability. If you're an A, and this resonates, leave a quick comment below. I'd love to hear your experience. Letter B, the heart-centered builder. Names that start with B, like Brian, Bella, Bianca, or Benjamin, usually indicate a nurturing, balanced, and relational spirit. B vibrates with the energy of connection and stability. People with this initial are often the glue in relationships, loyal friends, empathetic listeners, and steady workers. In Buddhist teachings, B symbolizes the middle path, not extremes, but harmony. They thrive in environments where they can build something meaningful, families, friendships, careers, or creative projects. But there's a flip side. B's can overgive and sometimes sacrifice their own needs for others. Their growth comes from learning to receive and put their own energy first when needed. Letter C, the communicator with a creative spark. C-named individuals, like Carlos, Chloe, Cynthia, or Christopher, are often creative, charismatic, and curious. They're natural talkers and often find themselves drawn to writing, speaking, or performing. In Buddhist symbology, sound is sacred, and C carries a strong vocal energy. These individuals are storytellers, often processing the world through conversation and imagination. They love ideas, but sometimes struggle with follow-through. Because they see so many possibilities, they can get scattered. Their lesson is in focusing energy and finishing what they start. Subtle CTA. By the way, if you're enjoying this breakdown, give this video a quick like. It helps us reach more curious minds like yours. Letter D, the doer with deep roots. If your name starts with D, Think Daniel, Diana, Derek, or Daniela. You likely carry the builder's frequency. D is about discipline, determination, and depth. These people are often grounded, realistic, and extremely loyal. They don't chase shiny objects. They build from the ground up. In Buddhism, the letter D can relate to the earth element, stability, endurance, and presence. The challenge for Ds is letting go of control. Sometimes their reliability turns into rigidity. Learning to embrace spontaneity and trust is key to unlocking their emotional depth. Letter E, the energy that lights up a room. Names like Emily, Ethan, Elena, or Eric often carry a bright magnetic energy. Es are known to be energetic, expressive, and eternally curious. Es love to experience life, travel, culture, people, ideas. They are seekers, often drawn to spiritual exploration or artistic expression. Their voice carries weight, and they can move people with their words. But Es must watch out for overstimulation. Too many inputs can scatter their energy. Meditation, mindfulness, and grounding practices help Es stay focused and connected to their deeper purpose. Letter F, the empath who feels everything. If your name begins with F, like Fiona, Felipe, Faith, or Frank, you likely possess a deeply sensitive, compassionate, and artistic soul. F represents feeling and frequency. People with this letter are attuned to the moods of others and often carry a natural healing presence. They tend to be the ones others lean on, the silent supporters and emotional anchors in chaotic times. In Eastern traditions, F aligns with the heart chakra, love, service, and harmony. But here's the challenge. Fs often absorb too much. They can become overwhelmed, drained, or feel invisible if they're not careful. If you're an F, your journey is to protect your energy and allow your softness to be your strength, not your burden. Letter G, the grounded seeker of truth. G-named individuals, like Gabriel, Gina, George, or Giselle, are grounded, wise, and often seek deeper truths beneath the surface of life. The letter G vibrates with growth. These individuals are usually philosophical, spiritually curious, and value authenticity. They ask big questions and are rarely satisfied with surface answers. Buddhist philosophy teaches us the value of right view, seeing clearly. Gs embody this when they're aligned. They're excellent listeners, thinkers, and often the quiet power behind transformation in families or communities. But Gs must beware of self-doubt and perfectionism. Their insight can sometimes turn inward as criticism. Learning to accept their evolving nature is the key to their peace. Letter H, the harmonizer with hidden strength. Names beginning with H, such as Hannah, Henry, Hugo, or Helena, tend to belong to balanced, resilient, and visionary individuals. H stands tall, with symmetry and strength. These people often show quiet leadership. They bring order where there's chaos, but without shouting. In Eastern energy maps, H resonates with balance and breath. Think of the inhale and exhale, effort and rest. H-types often carry hidden strength. You might underestimate them at first, but they often rise under pressure. Their challenge? Learning to step into visibility and trust that their light deserves to be seen. Hey, if you're an H and this feels true, type harmony in the comments. Let's recognize your quiet power. Letter I, the individualist illuminator. If your name starts with I, like Isaac, Isabella, Irene, or Ian, you carry a vibration of independence, intuition, and illumination. I is a vertical line. It stands alone and proudly. People with this letter are often deep thinkers, original minds, and may walk life paths that feel different from the norm. In Buddhist symbolism, I connects to inner sight, the third eye, or the ability to perceive what's beneath the surface. Eyes are visionaries, but they can also struggle with isolation or the fear of not belonging. Their spiritual path involves learning that being different doesn't mean being alone. In fact, their light is often the beacon others need. Letter J, the joyful trailblazer with a mission. Names like James, Julia, Jordan, or Jasmine, you're likely filled with joy, drive, and a kind of charisma that makes people feel seen and inspired. J carries the energy of the journey, always moving, exploring, expanding. Js often reinvent themselves, and they usually don't follow the crowd. They're courageous and expressive, often natural leaders or innovators. But the flip side of their power, Js can be impatient, restless, or fear stagnation. Their growth lies in learning patience and presence, understanding that the most powerful transformations happen not while chasing, but while allowing. Is your name a J? Hit that like button if you're on a journey of growth. It helps us keep creating content like this for people just like you. Letter K, the kinetic soul with inner fire. If your name starts with K, like Kevin, Karen, Kimberly, or Kyle, you likely radiate movement, courage, and a strong internal compass. The letter K vibrates with action. These people often feel a deep sense of mission, even if they can't always explain it. They're known for being problem solvers, doers, and protectors of those they love. In Buddhist terms, K energy is like the wind, unseen, but full of power. K people push forward when others hesitate, but sometimes they push too hard. Their greatest challenge? Burnout. Learning to balance their drive with stillness is what unlocks their long-term peace. If you're a K, take a breath right now. You deserve it. And drop a below if this feels true for you. Letter L, the light bringer with a loving core names beginning with L, such as Laura, Liam, Leo, or Linda. Carry the energy of light, love, and laughter. L is all about emotional intelligence. These people often have an innate gift for making others feel safe, accepted, and inspired. They're natural caregivers and often gravitate toward roles that involve service, art, or healing. Spiritually, L resonates with the heart chakra, symbolizing compassion and self-expression. But here's the thing. Ls tend to put others first, often to their own detriment. The lesson for L? Learn to give from overflow, not depletion. When they nourish themselves, their light becomes unstoppable. Letter M, the master architect of meaning. If your name begins with M, like Michael, Maria, Monica, or Marcus, you are a builder, a strategist, and a meaning seeker. M energy is rooted, reliable, and often intellectually sharp. These individuals thrive when they can plan, create systems, or bring visions into form. They're the people who make things work, behind the scenes or at the front. In Buddhism, M is connected to mindfulness, structure with awareness, but the shadow side of M is overthinking or being overly controlling. Their growth lies in trusting that not everything has to be perfect to be powerful. If you're an M and this hit home, let me know in the comments. How do you find balance between structure and flow? Letter N, the noble navigator with intuition. Names that start with N, like Natalie, Noah, Nicole, or Nathan, are often connected to a strong inner knowing and noble heart. N symbolizes a bridge, always moving between logic and emotion, spirit and earth. Ns are deep thinkers and often old souls, sensitive to energies and environments in ways others don't always notice. They tend to be natural counselors, quietly guiding others while walking their own winding path. But their challenge is self-trust. Because they often sense so much, they may hesitate or second-guess. When Ns learn to anchor into their intuition and take decisive action, they become magnetic forces of wisdom and change. Letter O, the open channel of expansion. And finally, O-named individuals, like Olivia, Oscar, Owen, or Ophelia, tend to carry an energy of wholeness, openness, and observation. O is a perfect circle, representing cycles, inclusivity, and spiritual awareness. People with this letter are often deeply reflective, gentle leaders, and attract meaningful relationships throughout life. In Buddhist wisdom, O echoes the circle of life and the idea of returning to the center. O people often feel drawn to teaching, healing, or creative expression that serves the collective. But their shadow can be indecision. Seeing all sides can sometimes lead to inaction. Their growth comes from choosing even when the path isn't clear. If your name begins with O, you might be the anchor in your family or community. And if you've felt that lately, let us know in the comments. Letter P, the purpose-driven pathfinder. If your name starts with P, like Peter, Paula, Patricia, or Paul, you likely walk through life with a sense of mission. P is for purpose, and people with this letter are rarely satisfied with shallow goals. They seek impact, progress, and personal growth. In conversations, they often ask the bigger questions. Why does this matter? What is the point? Buddhist wisdom teaches us that right intention is the seed of transformation. Pa people carry this naturally, but they must be careful not to become overly intense or hard on themselves. Their key, balancing their ambition with presence, so they don't miss the beauty of the journey itself. Letter Q, the quiet rebel. With a unique frequency, Q names are rare, like Quentin or Quinn, but that rarity is a clue. Q is the question mark of the alphabet. These individuals are often unconventional thinkers, quiet disruptors, or highly creative souls who see the world through a different lens. They often carry a spiritual signature of depth and individuality. They're not interested in fitting in, and they shouldn't. Their power lies in being different, not apologizing for it. The challenge for Qs is isolation. Their uniqueness can feel like loneliness unless they find kindred spirits who see them. Subtle CTA. If your name starts with Q, you're one in a million. Let the world hear your voice. Letter R. The resilient realist with a big heart. Names like Rachel, Richard, Rebecca, or Ryan, these are the resilient ones. R people are strong, sensible, and rarely afraid of hard work. They often play key roles in their communities, families, or teams, bringing order to chaos and offering solutions with calm determination. R is also associated with responsibility and resourcefulness, a grounding energy that makes these individuals trustworthy and dependable, but sometimes Rs forget to rest. They carry others so often, they forget to carry themselves. Their healing lies in asking for help and remembering they don't have to hold the world alone. Letter S. The soulful spark of change. If your name starts with S, like Sarah, Samuel, Sophia, or Stephen, you likely carry a unique vibrational intensity. S people are often magnetic, introspective, and naturally tuned in to energies around them. In Buddhist traditions, S can reflect the serpent of transformation, shedding old identities to evolve. These individuals often experience deep spiritual awakenings, even if they can't explain them. They are often drawn to art, mysticism, or healing, but S's need to guard against self-sabotage. They can be so self-aware that they sometimes get stuck in loops. Their growth happens when they take action despite the inner noise. Subtle CTA. If you're an S, you're likely more powerful than you even realize. Drop A in the comments if you're on a personal transformation journey. Letter T. The teacher with timeless wisdom. T names, like Thomas, Teresa, Taylor, or Tiffany, tend to carry the energy of teaching, timing, and truth. These are often the people others go to for guidance, even without knowing why. Ts have a gift for breaking down big ideas and making people feel safe in their presence. In many traditions, T is a bridge between the spiritual and practical. But Ts can also be overly focused on duty, neglecting their own needs or emotional world. The evolution for T is stepping into their full authority, not just supporting others, but honoring their own inner teacher. Letter U. The unifier with unshakable faith. People with names starting with U, like Ursula, Ulysses, or Unique, are often connectors. They bring unity, healing, and a quiet kind of power that makes everyone feel they belong. U vibrates with inclusion. It's open, expansive, and spiritually aligned with the idea that all is connected. These individuals are often drawn to causes bigger than themselves and carry a deep sense of justice, but they must be careful not to lose themselves in the collective. Their individuality matters too. U is rare and powerful. If that's you, your presence is needed. Never shrink it. Letter F. The visionary with a vibration that moves mountains. Names like Victor, Vanessa, Veronica, or Valerie usually belong to intense and visionary souls. V is sharp. V cuts through noise. People with this letter often shake things up, question systems, and inspire change. They are rarely content with mediocrity. Spiritually, V is associated with the third eye chakra, insight, truth, and vision. But they must be careful not to live only in the future. Vs sometimes forget to be here now. Their power comes from learning how to ground their ideas into action. When they do, they change everything. Letter W. The warrior of wisdom and wonder. If your name starts with W, like William, Wendy, Walter, or Willow, you carry the energy of resilience and wonder. Sosu is about the warrior spirit, strength born not from force but from survival, sensitivity, and insight. These individuals often have lived many emotional lifetimes and emerge wiser each time. Ws are also deeply imaginative and can find beauty in unlikely places. Their mission? Trusting that their softness is not a weakness, it's a weapon. Letter X. The X factor. You can't explain names like Xavier or Xena often belong to enigmatic, charismatic, and one-of-a-kind souls. X is rare, and so are the people who carry it. These individuals often carry an aura of mystery and originality. They're the kind of people who leave a mark without even trying. Their path often involves spiritual awakening and turning pain into purpose, but they must be mindful of hiding behind complexity. Simplicity is also strength. If you're an X, claim your power in the comments. You don't need to explain it. Just own it. Letter Y, the yin-yang balancer of dualities. Y named individuals, like Yolanda or Yusuf, often navigate contrasts in life. Logic and emotion, light and dark, giving and receiving. They are sensitive but strong, practical but deeply spiritual. Y is shaped like a fork in the road, a constant dance between choices. In Buddhist tradition, Y represents the path of balance, walking between extremes with awareness. Y's often become powerful leaders, healers, or mediators because they understand both sides. Their growth lies in embracing uncertainty and making peace with paradox. Letter Z, the zenith of completion and boldness. Last but never least, Z. Names like Zoe, Zachary, or Zane belong to those who close chapters and start revolutions. Z carries the energy of endings and beginnings. It's bold, dynamic, and unafraid of change. Z's often bring transformation. Whether in families, relationships, or systems, they may appear intense, but they're also full of charisma and creativity. Their challenge is learning to pause, to celebrate how far they've come before racing into what's next. If your name ends the alphabet, you probably bring things full circle. Let us know how you've seen that in your life. How to use the power of your name for self-discovery and growth. You've just explored the hidden meanings behind the first letter of your name. And now you might be wondering, what do I do with this knowledge? Here are 5 simple, reflective steps you can take today to start using the energy of your name as a tool for transformation. 1. Reflect on how this resonated. Journal honestly. Take a few minutes to write down what came up for you during this video. Did any parts feel spot on? Did something make you pause or feel slightly uncomfortable? Was there a moment where you felt deeply seen? These reactions are clues. They point to areas in your life where there's alignment, or maybe an invitation to grow. Don't judge what comes up. Just observe. Self-awareness begins with honest reflection. You can even share a line or two in the comments. Sometimes what we discover helps someone else too. 2. Explore your full name, not just the first letter. While we focused on the first letter today, your full name carries energy too. Try this. Write your full name out on paper. Look at each letter and the meaning behind it. Which letters repeat? What patterns do you notice? Your name is a personal mantra used daily, in speech, writing, and thought. Each letter vibrates. Understanding the pattern in your name can bring clarity to your natural tendencies, strengths, and even recurring life lessons. 3. Ask loved ones what your name feels like to them. Sometimes others see what we miss. Ask someone close to you, when you hear my name, what kind of energy or feeling comes to mind? You might be surprised by the answers. Often people associate names with personality, tone, or memory. These perceptions can reflect how your presence is received and give you insight into the energy you naturally transmit. 4. Reclaim or reinvent the meaning of your name. Maybe you've never liked your name, or maybe others have mispronounced it, joked about it, or diminished it. Here's the truth. You get to define what your name means. If you want to reclaim it, do it. If you want to infuse it with a deeper intention, start today. Try this affirmation. My name carries power, history, and purpose. Every time I speak it, I return to my path. Repeat that aloud, slowly, and see how it lands. 5. Align with the energy of your initial. Now that you understand what your first letter symbolizes, ask yourself, am I living in harmony with that energy? Where am I overusing it? Where am I suppressing it? For example, if you're an A, maybe you lead often, but rarely receive support. If you're an S, maybe you feel too much, but struggle to act on what you know. Pick one small action this week to balance your letter's energy. If you're bold, try something that feels like its opposite. You might unlock parts of yourself you didn't know were there. Want help interpreting your full name? Let us know in the comments. We might turn that into a future video. You've just taken a journey through something that's been with you your entire life. Your name. It may seem like just a label, something chosen long ago. But now you've seen how the first letter alone holds clues to your personality, your patterns, and even your path. Whether your name starts with an A, a Z, or anything in between, it's not random. It's resonance. And that resonance carries power. You might be feeling surprised, validated, curious, maybe even emotional. That's the point. Because understanding the energy behind your name is really about understanding yourself. And here's the deeper truth. You're not fixed. Your name may hint at your design, but what you do with that awareness, that's your choice. You can grow, you can shift, you can rise. If this video made you reflect in any way, I invite you to do two simple things. Comment below with your first letter and what resonated most with you. And subscribe if you want more insights like this. We talk about the deeper layers of everyday life, the stuff you feel, but don't always have words for. Because here, we believe one thing. You weren't named by accident. Let's explore what that really means. Together.